My name is Charles Vestal. I'm a producer at Small Planet Digital. That's my personal Twitter, so you'll see an Instagram of your lovely faces there. But yeah, go ahead. So Small Planet, we're a smartphone and tablet agency founded in 2009. We're about 25 people, half of whom I think are in the room, based in Brooklyn. We've made 40 apps for people like Disney Publishing, Time Inc., General Motors, Paramount, and we have category expertise from publishing, healthcare, education, branding, gaming experiences. Our main focus is just to make compelling mobile experiences for consumers that delight them and then convey, our clients' brands. Some more of our lovely clients, beautiful clients. So this project, Disneyland Explorer, was from Walt Disney Parks and Resorts. They came to us with a pretty wide open brief with some marketing objectives to engage and delight their users. That's what Disney's all about. Their users being both adults and children, so it's a family app. They wanted to convey the depth and the breadth of the whole Disneyland resort. So that's Disneyland Park, California Adventure, the hotels, and the downtown Disney shopping district. And they wanted to drive home the message that to visit the resort, you truly need a multi-day experience. So you can't just go there for a day trip and go home. You need to stay in the park, you need to go to the shops, you need to see a movie, and you need to spend at least 2 days at the entire resort. So where do we fit in? A lot of things have been done before. There have been planning apps, there have been interactive brochures and maps and tour guides and things that are kind of for the at-the-park experience and that are very utilitarian. We want to do something a little different, get people excited at the top of the funnel before they make the decision to go to the park. So our solution was something to do, not something to read. So not just a bunch of information about the park, the places you could go, the things you could do, but actually experiencing that. So we created this interactive 3D carousel, which was kind of a parallax 3D interactive environment where you could browse through the park. You can see this is a sped up version, but it's got every land in the park, both versions of the hotels and the shopping district, both parks. We also had mini games and activities for several of these attractions. And then a goal was also to really engage the consumer on their level, so to have copy that was in the right tone, it represented the spirit of the attraction, it wasn't kind of a hard sell. So, So in the carousel, we have 15,000 photos that we took in our trips to go. We went on multiple trips. It's all custom photography, it's not stock photography, it's not from their marketing department. We went out there, we shot it, we cropped it, we did all the Photoshop, we put it in there. 150 things you can touch on to get information about the attractions, to see photos and videos and slideshows, as well as the mini games and activities. And most importantly, it's really freaking big. If you print out every screen and put it next to each other, it's 60 feet all the way around, and there's no way you can look at it and not go, there are a heck of a lot of things to do at the Disneyland Resort. So part of that content, every attraction has something you can see. We have 500 slideshow images in there for over 100 of the attractions. We have copy that's really, it's talking from the voice of the attraction. So Space Mountain is from Space Mountain, Indiana Jones is Adventure. And we have 12 videos in there so you get that extra flavor for those things that don't have the richer treatments as well. Good. One important message to convey was the time of day aspect of visiting the park and how you progress through the park. So to really get the message home that you need more than one day at the resort, we have this subtle movement as you scroll through the park. And Dimitri, you're going to hit the video. The time of day changes as you go through, and so you see you spend one day in Disneyland Park, you spend the night in Tomorrowland and the hotels, next day you wake up, you go through California Adventure, and then you spend your second evening at Disneyland Park, back to Main Street, do it again, get the monthly pass, you're fine. So we also had 18 interactive mini games, activities, whatever you want to call them. We were looking at them as toy-like activities, so things that you can engage with repeatedly. It's not just a piece of content, it's something you can go back to. You can shoot cannons at Pirates of the Caribbean, you can touch things at Mickey's house and make the accordion hands go, view old videos, play with Ariel, Little Mermaid, find the Yeti, visit the Death Star, all the fun stuff you can do at Disneyland. So a lot of interactives you can go back to. You wanna go on? How to do? Pretty well. We were #1 in 10 countries for a couple weeks, over 2,500 5-star reviews, and one interesting thing to note is that we're getting a lot of retention. People come back to it. Over half our users come back to it after 30 days, all the way down to over a quarter of our users after 150 days are still coming back to the app. So there's a lot of content there that keeps people engaged with the brand continuously. As far as the numbers, I mean, we have over 1.5 million iPad users. It's iPad only, so those numbers may be smaller than a cross-platform. And we're still adding tens of thousands a week. This came out in January of this year. Almost half the sessions are over 3 minutes long, and over 20% are over 10 minutes. We have something like 34 million sessions, so that's a lot of brand engagement. Over 470 years have been spent in the app total, so that's a lot of little kids' lives that we've sucked out of the earth. Almost 3 minutes in average session length, that's per session. That's over 2.5 times the category average. Versus all entertainment apps, we're doing well. User comments, people love it. People say it's a great app, it says it reminds them to go to the park. This is one of our favorites. This app is as magical as the real thing. What would be proud? And that's really what we're going for, is brand engagement, connecting with that Disney part of the brain and tickling it and getting people to think about Disney continuously, Disneyland Resort, and go to the park. That's it.
Okay, before the judges ask their questions, I just want to remind everyone that we're going to have some really amazing food coming out in the next 5 minutes. And apart from the food, we have live music soon after. So the judges can start asking their questions very soon. Go for it.
How is Disney using it to upsell its customer base? Are they selling?
So there are a few things with that, but it's geared towards children in a lot of ways, obviously, so there's not a lot of tracking for what the flow-through is for the sell. It's really just to drive brand awareness, brand engagement, get people really involved with the brands. We don't have numbers on how it's driving it, but we see people on Twitter, on Facebook, they got tons and tons of likes, and it was featured on the App Store. People are engaging with the brand, and that's really what the focus was.
And how are they promoting it? For you?
We promoted it some. They're Disney, they have their machine, and it goes out to, it's on the blogs, the mommy blogs, all that stuff. Yeah.
Was the majority of the apps actually downloaded in park or before or
no? It's not a tour guide. The idea is to get you excited before you go. So it's also iPad only. So the focus was for an at-home experience, an on-the-couch experience. Your kid's next to you, you're looking through the app. So we don't have any GPS info on where people are downloading it, but the assumption is it's done at home before you go, or after you go to remember.
And since you talked about the Disney machine, do you know if they're ever sampling visitors and asking like if they're using the app, or if that's how they found out about anything?
If they are, we don't know about it, but I would assume so.
What sort of mobile tech did you guys use to build the app? Is it all native?
It's all native, so we have our own in-house tools that we built. So we had our designers who are here build these 3D layered environments based on the photography that then we basically move a virtual camera through it, and it loads in the next lands as you're going, so it's a seamless experience.